G'day legends, welcome to Wils's World, and thanks for joining me here on episode 18 of GenX Plays Minecraft. And yet here we are, we're still stuck in our hole in the ocean, eh? Anyway, last episode I did mention that we'd be building a sort of manufacturing plant to make all our different prismarine blocks. So what we're going to do is jump over to my test world, and I'm going to show you what I mean by that. Alright, see ya. Hey, welcome back to Wills's test world. So what we're going to do here today, at the moment, we've got 4 different systems set up. Alright, so what we'll do, we'll start off with the more complicated ones, but I mean, the systems, it's a very simple circuit, really, the whole thing. Alright, what we got up here, which is exactly the same for each one of them, is just an etho hopper clock. If you're not sure what one of them is, basically it's a little timing circuit that we've got 2 hoppers underneath that face each other that just pass blocks back and forth, and which then causes your redstone block to move back and forth across the top here, which you can then use as a timing circuit. The more you put in there, the slower obviously it takes for it to switch over. So if you put 5 stacks in there, it's got to move the complete 5 stacks over to this one, and then it'll switch. So it's going to take longer. So at the moment I've got them all set up with just 16. And that's the main thing we're going to play with at the moment. And all we've done here is we've got our crafter, and we've got it set up in the recipe for lanterns. So that's 4 prismarine shards and 5 of the crystals. So we've got hoppers on either side that are feeding those blocks in straight into the crafter, and its output will come out to here. So what we're basically going to do is just turn on, I'll show you what it means. So each time it clicks over, the observer sees the change of state, so it gives us a pulse, which then produces, and then it refills. So basically what we want to do to make it as efficient as possible is cut down the timing circuit. So the second the last block fills in, bang, we make the next one, fills up, bang, we make the next. So what you want to do is avoid running this dry and end up having it make something else, or just stop producing at all. So at the moment with 16, we can see we've got quite a bit of time to do that in. So what we'll do, we'll dramatically cut it down, so I'll show you the effect if we go too far. I get down to 3. Alright, right down the opposite end. So it's going to be going back and forth pretty quick. And so yeah, we are producing items quicker, but it's going to kill the system basically, as this will start then. See how these are now starting to run down, they're not refilling completely. So in a little while, that's one of these is going to start to run dry. It's not going to start putting your items out. Alright, so what we've got to do is we'll just slide back down. Now, the easy thing to think of is we've got 4 items coming in from the shard side and 5 from the crystal side. So obviously the crystal is going to take a little bit longer. Now, it's going to be moving the blocks exactly the same speed as these. So 5 should do it for us. I always stick in a couple of extras, or sorry, 1 extra. So you go into 6, which should make sure we're refilled. That's all good. This then should give us pretty close to sort of efficiency time-wise. So watch that bottom block, this one here, as long as it refills before that we make it. Beautiful. Alright. Now, we'll go on to the next one, which is now we're going to be making the dark prismarine. Alright, 1 ink, 8 of the shards. So we've got our ink on one side, our shards on the other. We've got the pattern already made up. Same deal, but the longer side is going to take 8. Fucking weather. Good thing I can play this game, eh? Alright, so, obviously one side's only going to take 1 movement, the other one's going to take 8. So, following the same sort of formula as we had on the other one, we cut it down to 9, so the movement plus 1 just to be safe. And we should find that this last one here refills before it clicks over. Beautiful. Alright, and we're producing, I probably didn't even show you this one up here today, so it's making them. Alright, we'll keep it. It's making them each time, same down here. Right, but we've got 2 clocks now on different timings. And it's not going to be efficient to put them both onto one. We've got a 6. And we've got a 6. I think I'm going to start this again. Oh, we've got a 9. What am I talking about? We'll edit that bit out. Alright, so we've got a timing of 6 here. 9. Now, if we ever think about this, sorry. Next one is just going to be the prismarine bricks. Right, we need 9 filled up. Now, we could effectively double hopper it, double the speed of the input, or we could leave it because it's very close to this one. Alright, so if we put this on, this will have to go on to 10. So 9 movements plus the 1, and throw that one away. We should be producing blocks just after. Alright, and our last one here is very simple. It's just 4. So we could set up at 5, but it's also very close to 6. So a middle 2 is going to be 10 and 9, with their outer 2 being, what was this one, 6 and 5. So what I did in effect is stuck some together. So we've basically got the lanterns and just the basic prismarine blocks running off one clock, and these other 2 running off the same one. But yeah, that's basically the circuit. The reason I've got the observers in here at the moment, instead of just putting it straight through, is one, they produce a nice pulse, but as you'll see when we go back to the farm, I've used them so we can do a switch, so meaning that you could turn on the clock and both farms connected to it aren't going to run. You could pick which one, both, or neither. Alright, so now we've got a basic understanding of what we're trying to do. Let's nip back and I'll show you what I've built. Alright, cheers. Alright, we're back on the farm, and yeah, I'll show you what we've put together. So we've got our little room in here, which we've built. So very similar to what we had on the test world, but we've got 2 hopper clocks. One is set up at the 6, and the other one should be set up at 10. Off them, pulses down here. Now we've got 2 observers, one on either side, which we can then put down and turn on this side. Obviously that one goes onto that side, and we can not turn them on or turn them on, whichever we want, and then engage the clock. So down here we're producing dark prismarine. Just the prismarine bricks here. There we go. And as I said, we could turn off the bricks if we just wanted to keep making dark prismarine at the moment, or turn everything off. And then yeah, same with the one down here. Here we're producing the lanterns. There's our only of them. That's what we're just using the shoulders for, and spit out our bits and pieces. And same again for the prismarine. Very simple. Just shut him off for a minute. And yeah, as you can see from here, we're starting to build up a decent amount. so we can throw that in the machine. We have spent a lot of time here just recently, but as you can see, we've got a shitload of fish which we've got to start unloading on. So that is going to be our next project, because this one's pretty well full. So I'll spend a bit of a time back down here later on, get us fill some shulkers up for the different bricks and such forth. But all right, what we've been up to. Well, first thing, a bit hard to miss, is I got rid of all the horrible stone and diorite and granite we had, and put in some blue concrete. I thought it would be the best colour to sort of just hopefully blend in somewhat with the ocean behind the blue glass. Yeah, it's not too bad. Oh, got an opening out. I've got to show you what this is. I was digging this out. I came across a copper vein. So, of course, I did just strip out what was here. I'm hoping there's a bit more, so I'm going to spend a bit more time back down here later on, and yeah, hopefully I can dig out if there's anything left. Yeah, there's definitely still some in there. I did happen to notice the tail end of it over here when I was digging the pit out, so we could have a bit of one running underneath here. So I'm going to check that out and see if we can pull out a decent amount of copper out of there. Now, we'll check on Mr. Slime Farm. I'll show you what we've collected so far. Starting to get a decent amount. Probably more than I'm going to need. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, if they see you over here, they're going to keep coming. Yeah, that's doing all right. Once again, the simplest farms, they're the best. Dump this in here for now. All right. What else we got to show off? Ignore this bit for a minute. And my shulker monster. Our shard farm. Prismarine shards. Yeah, definitely needs a go. I've been doing a little bit here and there. We've got some basic straight out crystals, and we've got a lot of the amethyst shards. So yeah, looks like we need to do that again. And I bought up, which does make it a hell of a lot easier, pickaxes, which are basically unbreaking, silk touch and mending. And this one's the same, but just with fortune. No efficiency. Once you're under there with the conduit power, it's quick enough, and you're not going to break other blocks. You've got a lot more control over it. All right, what do we got down here? We've made such a mess over. We'll go down the end here. Okay, we've got one village breeder set up. We just need 2 villages up the top there. All right, dead. So that's part A. So basically, it will produce the little fellas. They can drop down the bottom here. We'll wait for them to grow up. We'll throw them in a minecart. All right, from there, they get to meet Ted. You can already hear him in the background. All right, we scoot him just around here, straight in. All right, and here is our mate, Ted Bullpit. All right, he will then infect the villagers. We will then happily come along and cure them and rescue them. So when we then stick them into much skill into here, so I've got our cubicles set up for them. We're going to have 8 altogether. We've got to obviously finish the rest of this haul, but and yeah, we're going to be selling them all that cod and yeah, the other fish as well, which I just can't think of a name of. Salmon, is it? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, now Ted. I can't go past without mentioning Ted. If you don't know who Ted Bullpit is, you should find out. It's well worth it. Ted Bullpit was the central character in an Australian sitcom back in the 80s. It started, I think, in 1980. very, very politically incorrect. Um, it was sort of Australia's version of Al Bundy, a good 7 years before Al Bundy was Al Bundy. So, yeah, if you get a chance, the show was called Kingswood Country. Um, Fucking funny. Worth a watch. All right. So that's where we're up to at the moment. So what I want to do is finish this off. So we've got this done. Unfortunately, I forgot a couple of things. We're going to have to nip back to base. We need a shitload of string to sell to the villagers to get them up to at least stage 2 where we can start selling the fish. We need food for the breeder. You go back and we'll get a heap of bread. And then, yeah, we've got to go get some villagers, obviously. So that'll mean we'll check the map, find our closest village. We're all ready for that because then we'll make one of our happy little mates here. Get a couple of villagers in here. We'll try and pick up some extra if we can instead of just the 2. It'll save breeding. That's it. We've got to get a shitload of beds too. Thanks for reminding me. Beds. Yeah. Rest of the place is just, as you can see, it's just charging along beautifully. Yeah, our latest 2 additions. And then once we've got these in, we'll probably try and decorate this place up a bit so it just, looks a bit better. All right, that's the plan. So I'm going to finish this off and go and restock. And then I'll probably join you in the quest to get some villagers because that's always fun working with villagers, isn't it? What do you reckon, Ted? You want some faces to peel off? Right. More than happy to help you out, mate. All right. Ted will speak to you later, and I'll see you in a bit. All right, cheers. So as you can see, we got to the closest village. Got a couple of boys in the boats. I just basically started blocking them all in, and this bugger just dropped from the sky. So fair enough. But he's a weird one. He would not get in a boat at all. So in the end, I thought, fuck it, we'll just get him down there. If he survives, he survives, and he did. And he jumped straight in the boat behind another bloke. So I don't know what his issue was with the other one, but this worked out a lot easier. Just got to breed up our little happy gas now, and get ready for the trip back over. Oh, that's 20 minutes of footage. I'm not going to make you sit through. So we've got our little mate here. We'll just feed him some snowballs, grow him up, whack a harness on him, and then proceed to just forget how to attach bloody villagers to him. So I had him up and running, no problem. But the fact that I've got to crouch to attach them instead of just clicking on him puts you on top. So it took me a couple of minutes to remember how to do that. We got them on there. Come on, lads. And it's just a quick check to make sure our passengers are hanging in there all right. And then, another 20 minutes of footage I won't make you sit through. We drag the boys over and then start hooking up 2 of them to be in the breeder. Here we go. Up you go, mate. We just got to basically, just once they're in there, smack them out of their minecart, and they're good to go. They're nice and stuck. That's it. Next main thing, you've got to make sure they're tied to their beds, and then tied to a professional at least. So I'm not actually sure if you do need to, but it just seems to make it easier. So we just stuck down a couple of composters, got them both as farmers, which did actually make it easier. I didn't need to go back and get the bread because to lock them in on as farmers, you've got to do a level 1, which is just buying bread off them. So we bought bread and gave it back to them, and we'd get them to start making the babies. But before we do that, we've got this on one of the blokes. We thought we'd throw him in, get him out of the way, and this is where we discovered the problems with Ted. The problem with Ted is he just wouldn't be in it. He wouldn't attack the villagers. I got in his face, he wouldn't attack me. I smacked him around a little bit, he still wouldn't attack. I even clubbed the villager as this may be what you should do, mate. He wasn't in it. Nothing I could do. So I thought, fair enough, I probably put him too close to the villager breeder, and he might be locked onto one of those two guys. So we dropped an invisible potion on them. It made no difference. He just, I don't know, but he would not attack at all. He'd just sit there, and he's, not even looking in the direction that I've got anything that he would be interested in. So I gave up on him. We made no one further away. We called him Al Bundy because we thought it would be appropriate, and he worked like a charm. So we've still got Ted down the back at the moment, but I don't know, I'm not too sure what we're going to do with the bugger. But once we got Al working good, he'd infect the boys for us. We'd cure him up, and obviously make him a fisherman. Don't watch that, that's not important. Yeah. And we did change it back and forth. What I basically wanted was them to have strings at level 1 and have a fireplace at level 2. So we've got a good supply if we need to of fireplaces, and with the string it just made it a hell of easy to level them up to level 2 and we can just take over the fish. So yeah, basically put them in the cart, send them over. You can see it's we moved a fair way away, so hopefully Al won't be looking at the boys up in the breeder at all. Pop them in their slot. Make sure they tie into, first of all, they've got to tie into their bed. We just make sure we get the sparkles above them and the bed, and then do the same with the barrel, and then they're good. They're locked in there, and we've got plenty of fish to sell the bastards. So yeah, I'll just get around to keep moving them over, keep producing them. What I did do actually is, instead of doing one-on-one, I went a bit crazy. We just put down all the beds, got all the boys bred. I moved them over to the opposite corner from from Al Bundy's house, and then just moved them over there one at a time, and it didn't have an issue at all. So yeah, once we got past whatever the hell Ted was doing, ended up being pretty easy. So I think there's just a little bit more footage of this, and yeah, then we'll move on. back, and yeah, we've done a bit of decorating. A few empty spots around the area we've filled in with a bit of foliage. Some hills in there to break it up a bit, and we stuck a lake in here. A little pond, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, I think we're pretty well done with it. What we may do though is when the next update comes out, if we've got the ability to turn this water into that sort of luminous green that's found down in the new caves, we may try and convert it over. But yeah, besides that, we're pretty happy with it. We've got Ted's home down here. We couldn't do too much with that, unfortunately, but yeah, a bit more of it along here. Next victim, if we ever need one. We decorated our amethyst shard up a bit. Basically a sort of similar design to what you find on top of the monuments, but just obviously a bit bigger to scale. And yeah, last one over here. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. Yeah, it looks pretty good. We'll I'm just going to show it off at night time, and then we'll probably finish up for this episode. All right, I'll get you back in a sec. Cheers. Gotta say, it's still a big thumbs up for the vibrant visuals and the reflections and everything we're getting. It's given a whole new look for the game. Pretty awesome. All right, here we are. Yeah, the episode. It's a lot fuller than when we started, isn't it? Eh? Pretty happy with how it's all turned out. Yeah, but we'll call it an episode there. I've got no idea what we're doing in the next episode yet. I hadn't planned any further ahead than this at the moment. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. Please give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment if you can. Yeah, and as I say, if you know Noel Fart that enjoys playing Minecraft, pass it over to him. All right? Have a good one all. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers. Quick little bonus footage. Nothing special. I just thought this looked really cool at night time with the fireflies and everything out. All right. Cheers, guys. See ya.